This is 234 The Struggle with KJ with me, your host, Kunle Ajayi. You're 40 or just over 40. You've crossed that invisible threshold where time is no longer something you casually spend, but something you negotiate with. You start to count differently now, not in years, but in what's left, what's unfinished, what's unhealed, and what's unexperienced. And as a woman, you are probably starting to call yourself old. At this stage, most women begin to feel the silence in her life more than ever before. Not just the absence of a man, but the absence of a mirror. Someone who sees her beyond her job title, her children, her wounds, her carefully curated social media highlights. Someone who understands that she is not just a queen or a strong woman or a badass boss, but a human being who, in spite of all her accomplishments, still wants to be seen, touched, loved, and chosen. The world doesn't always make room for you at this age, especially if you're single. Especially also if you want more than a situationship, more than a casual companionship. And you can feel it. You see the way society slowly starts to push you out of the front row of desirability. The way people praise your strength but overlook your softness. The way they celebrate your independence but never ask who helps you carry the load. The compliments come dressed as freedom, but inside, you sometimes feel trapped in a life you built around survival and not love. You've probably heard all the usual affirmations. You're beautiful, you're the prize, your man is out there, just wait for him. It's better to be late than be sorry. I'm sure you've all heard all of some of that. But look, I won't insult your intelligence with hollow hope. The truth is, at over 40, love doesn't show up the way it will and it did in your 20s. Yes, it moves slower, it's more cautious, and it carries more weight. People have history now. Trauma, children, lots of exes, financial responsibilities, health concerns, spiritual baggage, if I may also add. You're not in the age of dreamy first kisses and 5-hour phone calls anymore. So don't delude yourselves that those will come. You are in the age of logistics, lifestyle, compatibility, and emotional availability. So let's talk real for a second. If you're looking to start a relationship at this age, you must understand you are not just dating a man. You are negotiating with his history, and he is negotiating with yours too. That's why it is harder now. Not because you are unlovable, but it's not going to be about chemistry alone. It's about infrastructure. Can your lives fit? Can your values align? Can your traumas coexist without blowing up the house? Most men over 45 have been through something, take it or leave it. A divorce, a financial loss, an identity crisis, a health scare, a custody battle, or possibly even worse. Emotional death in a long marriage that left him feeling invincible, emasculated, or betrayed. So when he meets you, no matter how amazing you are, he's not just seeing you, he's hearing echoes from his past. He's measuring his risk. Here's the part many women overlook. Men in this age group are not afraid of love. They are afraid of loss. Loss of peace. Loss of freedom. Loss of financial stability. Loss of emotional energy. And in today's climate, many of them believe that entering into a relationship with a woman over 40 may cost them more than they are willing to pay. Not because you are worth it, but because the return on emotional investment has not worked out well in the past. So if you're expecting him to step into your life and play the savior, the lover, the father of your children, the financier, the therapist, the emotional support system, and the romantic lead of your favorite movie, he's going to hesitate. Not because he's incapable, but because he's just tired. And when a man is tired, trust me, he doesn't gamble. If you want children at this age, Understand that you are asking a man to enter a high-risk emotional contact. Fertility is not on your side, not in any way it was before. And it's not an insult, it's just biology. Women above 40 really have their eggs still functioning the way it should. It doesn't mean that they are bad or they've been bad. No, it's just biology. Yes, there are exceptions, but the exceptions are not the norm. If he already has children, he might feel he's done his part, and now he wants a companion, not another diaper Johnny. If he doesn't have children, he might feel the pressure of time is running out and begin to look forward to younger women who bring a different set of vibes. But not fair, but it's real. And then there is baggage, your baggage. Your children may be older, but if they are in your house, they are still there. They may not need bedtime stories, but they do need emotional and financial support. Some of them are traumatized by previous father figures or loyal to the memory of your ex, and they will test any man who enters your world, especially if they are sons, especially if they are not used to seeing you being happy, especially if they believe you belong to them more than to yourself. Men sense that. They walk into your house and feel the tension before anyone speaks. The pictures on the walls, the toothbrush in the bathroom, the passive-aggressive silence from a teenager who refuses to say hello, the unspoken questions. Are you replacing my dad? That's heavy. And unless you have honest conversations with your children, preparing them emotionally and setting clear boundaries, your relationship will become a war zone. And a man who already fought in too many battles won't stick around for another one. So the question really is, what can you do? You must come to terms with the difference between desire and readiness. Just because you want a relationship doesn't mean you are emotionally positioned for one. Are you still bitter about the past? Do you need to be right all the time? Do you weaponize your independence when conflict arises? Are you unable to apologize without defending yourself? Are you open to being led, or do you only want leadership when it's convenient? You must stop overestimating what you bring to the table and underestimating what it takes to maintain intimacy. You must learn to distinguish between your wounds and your wisdom. You must stop telling yourself that any man will be lucky to have you, while refusing to confront your own blind spots. Because the truth is, you are not too old for love, but you are too old for excuses. You want a good man? Then be the safe place you expect him to provide. You want a mature partner? Then stop leading with suspicion and start leading with self-awareness. You want peace? Then stop confusing chaos with passion. And lastly, if you're over 40, stop trying to date like you're 25. That girl is gone and gone forever. And honestly, she wouldn't survive this season anyway. This version of you requires more depth, more truth, more discipline, more spiritual sobriety. You're not desperate. You're not broken. You're not too late. But you're responsible. So whatever comes next, do it with intention. Don't chase marriage if you don't want any more children. Marriage is for people who want children. Understand this. Marriage, especially later in life, isn't just about companionship. It becomes a sacred environment for legacy. If you have children, or your partner does, the union must serve them too. It's not enough to marry just for love. You must also be ready to raise, nurture, embrace, and have a blended family with equal heart. A real wife doesn't just marry a man. She marries his purpose, his pain, and yes, his children too. So if marriage is still on the table for you, so is the responsibility of building a home where all children, yours, his, or shared, can thrive. You can't expect to receive help raising your kids while refusing to help raise his. That's not good. And men sense that. That's not partnership. That's parental hypocrisy. Marriage should be the place where fairness, nurturing, and shared vision rule the home. A wedding ring should never become a trophy for individual security. It must be a symbol for collective responsibility. Because when you say yes to a man, you say yes to his tribe too, his parents, his siblings, including the little ones who carry his name, his stories, and his hope. If you still want a ceremony because you never had a wedding, then do a commitment of vows ceremony. It is not a wedding, neither is it a marriage. Become someone worth finding and comfortable to be with. Leave your crappy attitude, your exhausting behavior, and your judgmental insecurities in your 30s. These are most likely some of the attributes that kept you from getting married or got you divorced. Allow him lead. Not through performance, not through perfection, but through presence, through patience, and have a heart that's finally done lying to itself. Trust me, you'll be okay. Have a great day.
You think you got the bomb 'cause I wrote you a joint music.